Network of awareness makes your brain coherent. One of the fastest growing podcasts. You can hear it 24/7. We got listeners out in London, informationalists in Paris. The echo spreading out, no parrot. Just dissect, digest, and share it. The righteous rhymes hit the spirit. Click 90 times, it won't perish. Cause y'all's the mind ain't no fairy tale like the valley our parents. It's time to rise, don't get wary. United minds, it's apparent. Download every single errand, but most ain't fit to catch it, even if they were Larry. Interviews, the interludes, they enter you, taking you on a journey like no other. It places you in a state of awareness. It's your fault if you hate the truth, cause Yahweh been Yahweh's on his way, my brother. Better change your views. All praise to Yah.
Peace and greetings. Presenting the Network of Awareness podcast radio station, providing in-depth information on society and culture in America and abroad, bringing you truth messages of inspiration, keen insight, reputable interviews, and so much more. So now, for the truth you've been waiting for, your host of the Network of Awareness podcast, Aura, the informationalist.
Peace and greetings, brothers and sisters. This is Aura the Informationalist, and we are coming to you live and direct from the Tampa Bay area here in the sunshine state of Florida. And welcome to Most High Mondays. And as you know, I put a promo out earlier basically stating that I'm going to have a brother that's actually out here in Florida as well. And the brother goes by the name of Robert Moore, who is a nutrition and plant-based coach that is going to provide a wealth of information. And Robert's going to be coming on to the show a little bit later, in probably about 30 minutes or so. He's going to be on the show. And definitely tune in and take notes, because tonight's episode is episode 21 of season 4. And it's all about health is holy, which means that health is sacred, brothers and sisters. And we need to treat our bodies as the sacred temples that they are. And it's hard. It's easier said than done. Trust me. I know. I know firsthand. But it is literally necessary for us as brothers and sisters in this truth to start to become more health conscious, because our health is what's going to keep us alive. It's what's going to keep us help us to endure all of the attacks that are being put on us when it comes to our health, and when it comes to the foods that are being distributed in the world today, especially here in the United Shenanigans of America. We have to be very conscious of what we put into our bodies, what we put into our minds, and what we allow into our spirits. And because there is so much propaganda and so much turmoil, and there's so much attacks upon us spiritually in the spiritual warfare, health is holy, people. Health is the most sacred thing in this physical realm. And if your health ain't right, what do you have? You could be a billionaire, right? A perfect example of that was Steve Jobs. What happened to him? Had all the money in the world, but that money could not keep him healthy. So, brothers and sisters, I hope that you get great substance from this episode, because I know I am. And when Robert Moore comes onto the show, I'm going to allow the listeners in the chat room to ask questions. Robert is only going to be on the show for about an hour. So from 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 8:30 p.m., he will be on the show. So we're going to get the most we can from the information he provides, and then we'll also be able to have the brothers and sisters in the chat room ask any question they want. So, with that being said, welcome to Most High Mondays. And just to let you know about the weekly schedule and the way it's going to be conducted when it comes to the themes of the show. As some of you know, I have mentioned that, shout outs to Brother Mauricio, shout outs to Brother Cook. Mauricio had suggested a name called Testament Thursdays. And I'm going to give the opportunity for you brothers and sisters to testify and to state your testaments on those days. And you'll be able to do it on the website. Also, we got a name for Tuesdays. Got to give a shout outs to Future Wifey, my Queen Letter, for giving me the name for Tuesdays. Tuesdays are going to be Tell It Like It Is Tuesdays. So I'm going to tell it like it is on Tuesdays, baby. And of course, Wisdom Wednesdays. Can't forget about that. And then Thursdays is going to be Testament Thursdays. And then, of course, Friday is Faith Over Fear Friday, where we mostly play more music than usual. Another update, brothers and sisters. Let me fade this music out so you can hear me clearly.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
Yeah, I got a couple of new sound effects. That's what I've been slacking on, people. Some of the sound effects and all that. I got like a gabillion of them. So sometimes I just have so many, I lose track. And I'm going to start getting better at bringing some new sound effects and more new music. But brothers and sisters, welcome. As I mentioned, some of the updates as far as the weekly schedule, the TV network is not going to launch on the 15th, only because some recent updates came to my attention to where the system that I was operating the shows that would be airing on Roku and on internet, that system is not fully upgraded. And because it's not fully upgraded, I decided that I'm going to go with the old system. So there's a certain transition that I have to make. Another quick update in regards to that, instead of having the several subscriptions that I'm going to have, brothers and sisters, it's going to be real simple, only because the old system only allows one subscription. And that's only going to be temporary. How temporary that's going to be, I don't know. But for right now, and it's probably going to be like this for a while until I can introduce other subscriptions. But the good thing is this. I'm going to have one subscription. It's going to be $9.99 a month, and it's going to give you everything. It's going to give you content from Take One, content from Brother Oxycod, content from myself, and also my creative content will be my documentary movie shows, my breakdown shows, music videos, also collaboration videos which means it'll be shows where it's Brother Oxacod, myself, and Take One, and anybody else that will be on the panel. So those will be the shows on the TV network as well. Another thing that's going to be on the TV network, as I had mentioned to you, a lot of my shows, some of them will be broadcasted live and then stay within the rotation of the TV channel. But when I go live, or whether it's pre-record, what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be basically doing interviews. So that's going to be a major theme of what I offer on my subscription. Now, a lot of those interviews are going to be exclusive interviews with people from around the world. And the way I look at it, people, a lot of the interviews I do are very powerful. I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. It's just a fact. I give great interviews. I have great people come on the show, just like I have this young brother, or should I say this brother, that is going to be on the show today. He's also going to be on the TV network on there. So if you want to get great content from my shows that are going to be, anywhere from an hour and a half to 3 hours long on a regular basis, just like I used to do 3-hour shows on my free network, I'm going to do 3-hour shows on the paid network. So you're going to be getting interviews, breakdowns, content, music videos, new songs that you get to hear on the channel that will eventually go to free. You'll also get to see content specifically created by Take One, content specifically created by Brother Oxacod. By the way, Brother Oxacod has an episode releasing tonight that I'm going to release. I just finished editing it. Brother Oxacod's new channel is it's called 101 with Brother Oxacod, or 101 with Oxakai. So no longer is it going to be called Lion's Den, right? Because that name is too much used in the podcast arena overall. So just keep that in mind, brothers and sisters. I'm not going to have 4 subscriptions like I had originally planned for, due to recent updates that came to my attention. And everything happens for a reason, right? And that reason's there to serve you. So I'm going to have 1 subscription on the TV network. It's going to be $9.99. I will give a 20% discount for those that want an annual subscription. So if you want to sign up annually, it's going to be a lot cheaper than it is monthly. All right. So the new subscription is going to be $9.99. So to all the people that say they're going to support me, it's coming up. We're going to see. But I'll be honest with you, and this is no disrespect to people that say they're going to support me. I put no stock when people say they're going to support, because at the end of the day, what I've realized is the people that you think I'm going to support won't. Those that you think may not will. And those that you don't know will as well. And I only know that because I've experienced it. So for all of you that want great content on my TV network, which will be called networkofawareness.tv, $9.99 for the only subscription that we are going to have. And that's going to be for several months until they get things straightened out with their beta program and all that, and everything is functioning. Then eventually I'll add in other subscriptions, which will be less. But because they're going to be less money, you're going to get way less content. Whereas with the premium subscription for $9.99, you're going to be getting a $25 subscription channel for $9.99. So if you see value in that, I welcome you to join and be a subscriber and a follower of networkofawareness.tv. I'm going to have an episode released tonight by Brother Oxakai. It's going to be really great. I definitely suggest you check it out. Brother Oxakai has great content, people. And I'm not saying that, excuse me, because he's part of the network. Give me 1 second, brothers and sisters. Mouth is very dry. And plus I ate some spaghetti. And I don't know. I had too much sauce or whatever. But speaking of food, when I have Brother Robert Moore come on, he's going to talk a lot about why it's important for us to change our ways of eating. Forget about diet. He's going to talk about that. It's eating to live, not living to eat. And it's also about eating to live life in a higher vibration. And we're going to talk a lot about that because we are getting attacked on so many different levels when it comes to food, right, brothers and sisters? I mean, every day when you look at social media, and shout outs to all the brothers and sisters that are exposing this, but we're starting to realize through the information that's being provided all over the internet is that when it comes to our foods, brothers and sisters, it is highly, highly contaminated. Damn near everything is contaminated. So I hope this show is going to give you great substance on how to circumvent, overcome, and overall be successful in your lifestyle when it comes to eating. And especially if you're somebody like myself that's in their mid-40s or older, this is something you want to take seriously because as you get older, the body does start to somewhat deteriorate, but it doesn't have to as long as we put the right things in our bodies. And if we start to do that, we can be 60, 70, 80, 90 years old and still be vibrant, right? Like Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi didn't die from any type of health issue. Dr. Sebi was killed. All right. Now, a lot of people say that's a conspiracy theory, but we know what it is and we know what it isn't. And we never sugarcoat nothing here at the Network of Awareness. Another thing I want to mention to you, brothers and sisters, since we're waiting for Robert, he's going to come in about 15 minutes. This is something else I wanted to mention. I remember I told y'all last week or the week prior that I was going to invest in a marketing agency. Now, I'm not going to mention who they are just yet because I'm still going to mess with them, hopefully in July. But remember I told you, brothers and sisters, that I got a flag, I got a target on my back. And I'm going to tell you why I have a target on my back. And that target that I have is from this government, big tech, and the dark forces that don't like what I speak of. When I was told at 18 years old that I was going to be a messenger for the Most High, I didn't take it seriously. But as time progressed, I did. When I was doing my radio show and I broke down the North American Union, which is the union between Canada, Mexico, and United States, my system, or the system that we were operating on through streaming, got shut down for 2 weeks and nobody knew how to fix it. And then all of a sudden it came back. Well, I've been experiencing that since last year. Now, obviously, I still can broadcast like I'm broadcasting right now, but I got a flag on my back, or should I say a target on my back, and I'm constantly being censored. There's certain countries that I'm blocked from. And it's only because my information is really that powerful. And I'm not discrediting anybody that's in this podcast community because there's a lot of brothers and sisters that are doing well. But your brother is doing really well in waking people up to the truth and letting them know how deep the lies go. Because first you have to understand what the lie is in order to understand what the truth is. And I've been doing a good job at that. And because of that, I've been censored a lot. So much so that this company literally was running ad campaigns for me. And on their end, check this out. On their end, everything was looking good. No issues. But when it came time for their work, which they do good work, which is they run campaigns in order to drive in downloads and subscribership legitimately. They've been doing it for thousands of people. So why is it that they were doing it for me and nothing came out of it? Not one freaking download on Apple or Spotify. So why is it that they were running campaigns for me that was good on their end, but when it came to my statistical sheet, my CRM page, and I was, because they had me at over 800 downloads in a 2 or 3 day period. Guess how many downloads I got from that? 0. Now I get downloads naturally from Apple, but I had 0 from Spotify. Matter of fact, I think in the previous month, I literally had 14 downloads. Why is that, brothers and sisters? They couldn't understand. I did multiple things to help out the process on my end to legitimately get them to be able to be successful in running their campaign. And lo and behold, nothing came out of it, brothers and sisters, nothing. And it's because I am shadow banned, I am censored, but guess what? I didn't do this for downloads, but downloads are important to me. I'm going to tell you why, because this is my life. This is my business. This is one aspect of my businesses in my business of working independently. And I had to take on a job because I got hit so freaking hard in my business. And it's all good. I'm not complaining. But at the end of the day, I'm not giving up because I do this for the Most High. And I'm going to continue to do it for as long as I can until I can't anymore. So I'm not going nowhere, but I am going to contact Apple. I'm going to contact Spotify and find out why is it that these campaigns that are being run and the numbers that they are showing are not transmuting into my statistical page. And we're going to figure it out because your brother's been getting shadow banned for a long time. And brothers and sisters, I have close to 17 downloads. There's a lot of people that listen to me around the world, but it's not like, put it like this. Those 250 downloads that I would get specifically from Australia. Hold on a second, brothers and sisters. Let me unplug this for a second. I was hearing some static, but those 250 downloads, I get 1 download a month. And what was explained to me is that those people are still downloading my show. There's still 250 or more people in Australia that are downloading my show. But when it comes to my downloads and my statistics and monetization, 0. So I'm being blocked from making money and being blocked from showing value in my show, even though nothing has changed in the people. Matter of fact, there might be more people. They just got 800 new downloads. And, I don't know how many subscribers out of that. That's all legitimate, but it's not showing in my system. I'm not getting credit for none of that, brothers and sisters. And I was pissed about this months ago. I was irate, but I said to myself, you know what? Satan is trying to get me off course. Satan is trying to take me off the righteous path. And it ain't happening. You understand? It ain't going to happen. I am going to continue to do what I do. And that's why I'm taking it to TV, brothers and sisters, because they can't shadow ban me on TV. They can't. If you subscribe, you get the content, period. You get it. No interruptions. And shout outs to the TV network that's helping me out in Texas, in Dallas, because if it wasn't for the fact that I was getting shadow banned, I would have never took it to TV. I want y'all to understand that. I had no intentions on taking this to TV. But I'm going to say this. The Most High works in mysterious ways and deliberate ways. And I felt like the Most High was like, you got to take this to TV. Because it was being said to me many times, like, Aura, you got to be more visual. Aura, you got to get in front of that camera. Aura this, Aura that. And I was like, no, I'm good with the audio. I like being on radio. But now I'm starting to understand that the Most High wants me to do visual. And I wanted to do it because I want to succeed in my creative media concept business. And I'm going to. And even though I should be at 50,000 plus downloads by now or more, it's all good, baby, because we're going to keep moving, and we're going to move with the spirit and the grace of Yah Elohim, the Most High, that which is and always will be. And that which is always will be, will be. And there ain't no entity that's going to be able to stop that. So yeah, I'm hurting in the sense of I'm being, restricted with numbers, but I'm not being restricted spiritually to speak this truth. So I'm going to continue to do that. Yes, Brother Mauricio, I totally agree with that. Brother Mauricio said, being shadow banned worked in your favor. It made you work towards bettering your network and branching out. Absolutely, brother. And that's where the Most High comes in. Because whenever these dark forces and Satan wants to interrupt the flow, the Most High is going to make a way, because the Most High ultimately is in control every single time without fail, right? That's how it works. So I am super grateful for that. Super grateful. And it ain't going to stop. It ain't going to stop. Like, we're going to keep doing this and doing it well. And we're going to do it at a high level, because at the end of the day, I am a messenger for the Most High, regardless of what anybody else thinks. I know for a fact. It's undeniable. And I'm going to continue to be a messenger for the Most High until I leave this body. And ain't a damn thing going to change that. Ain't no dark, haterism going to stop me from being what the Most High intended me to be when I came to this planet temporarily, like many of you did. We've been here before, but now it's time to do what we got to do and make that transition to a higher dimension. So that way we never come back. And I'll be honest with you, I am never coming back here. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I never come back here to this prison planet. So I'm going to learn all that I can, be all that I am, and pursue what I need to do, and pursue things with a passion to fulfill the purpose of that which with the Most High intended me to do. So I wanted to give you guys that update on everything that's going on, because there's a lot going on. All right, a lot. But it ain't stopping me, man. And another thing too, there's a couple of people that reached out to me via email that want me to give them counsel on certain things that they're dealing with in life. And I got to be honest, brothers and sisters, if I could do it for free, I would. But if you want to talk to me for an hour or an hour and a half or whatever, I'm saying, I'll give you my knowledge, but you're going to have to pay for it, plain and simple. And I'm only going to charge $75 for anybody who wants some type of coaching in any particular field that they want help in. And when it comes to those certain fields, it's either going to be something that you're dealing with in life. If it has to deal with the judicial system, I know a lot about that, especially with the family courts and criminal. And then, of course, if you want education on your podcast and how to build your podcast and all the right things to do. Because if you're somebody that's like not like me, you're going to do very well. I can help you to be successful because you're talking about things that are not so controversial to government, right? you're doing something that's more spiritual and entertaining and stuff like that, you're going to do very well. Matter of fact, shout outs to Brother Rude Room, Roria and his wife. They got a podcast coming out in the fall. And it's going to be very successful because they're not really talking about stuff that I talk about. They're going to be doing stuff a little differently. And it's going to be very educational, spiritual, but at the end of the day, it's going to be extremely entertaining. So entertaining, it might make you pee in your pants. That's how funny it is. And I salute the brothers and sisters that are doing that, because you're not going to have a target on your back like I do. But you know what? I'll take one for the team. Because at the end of the day, the more I get shadow banned and the more I get restricted in my work, you know what that reminds me of? It lets me know that I'm in it to win it. And that the information that I'm providing to all of you has got other people behind the scenes nervous. So much so that they got to put all of their time and energy to make sure that I don't eat like I'm supposed to, that I don't make the type of money that I'm supposed to, that I don't reach all the people, or at least make me think I'm not reaching people, because that's what shadow banning is. Those people in Australia, they're still downloading my show. It's just not showing. And the reason they do that is because they want me to quit, just like anybody else that they shadow ban and block and censor. They want you to give up. And it's not going to happen. Not on my watch. No, no, no. But now I know legitimately. I knew it back then when I started the TV network. But how is it that your brother runs a campaign and the campaign goes nowhere? With a company that does this for thousands of people and they never had no issue like this? Come on, man. Stop it. But you know what, that, brothers and sisters, that lets me know that I'm doing my job for the Most High. I'm serving purpose. And they know what they're dealing with. So they're trying everything in their power to make sure that the Most High doesn't get his props. But you can't stop the Most High from getting his props. It ain't that time right now. So we're going to find a way. And I believe that this TV network, like Brother Mauricio said, is definitely going to put me in a different stratosphere as far as with influence and even financially. And it's long overdue. It's long overdue. Because I've been putting in a lot of work. I've helped a lot of people. Now it's my time to shine. It's my time to shine. Plain and simple. And those that support me, great. Those that don't, I will remember you. And when it comes time, I will forget you real quick. Facts. Because there's a lot of pretenders out here. And I'm going to tell you right now, I got no time for y'all pretenders. Because I've done support a lot of people, and certain people don't show the love back. And you know what I'm saying? Y'all could kiss you know what. Because I put the unexplicit, I didn't put the explicit button because I'm going to have this sort of clean show, because I think that the children and the teenagers need to listen to this. So this ain't going to be no cursing, and we're going to keep it moving. And because we got the brother coming on in a little bit, he's not on the network just yet. I don't see him here. He's supposed to be joining soon. Why don't we do this? Let's play a quick song, and we'll be back.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. Make me a nightmare for people like you. 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 Me a nightmare for people like you.
God damn, that was the longest double ever, bro. See what emails I missed. Let's see here. Got 7 missed emails. Pass. Definitely pass. Wait, hold on. What's this? Cause I got an email from a Malone Hicks. Wonder what this is about. Pretty lengthy. Let's see.
Shalom, take. I'm hoping that you read this message. It might be long, but your music helped me through depression. I was on the brink of ending my life, but when I heard you on the radio, it changed my life. I was at my lowest point, abusing drugs and getting stoned, cheating on my girl cause we could never get along. But when I heard the song, All Praise to Yah, all of a sudden my intuition raised the bar. I was a mess, but now I'm sweeping up my foolishness, cause I'm influenced by the music that you're doing. It's got me growing closer to Yah. At one point I just wanted to score drugs, but it's all about the favor now. It ain't a cakewalk, every day is a battle. Trials and tribulations, but I'm still in the saddle. Less of a cattle, more of a leader, soon to be father. My wife, he's 6 months, already went out and got a rattle. I hope you keep pushing music for Yah, cause not a lot of credit's being given to Yah. There's way too much vanity and too much pride. A lot of times, people just lose sight of the Messiah. But anywho, I just wanted to say thank you, brother. I guess this email is my only way to hug you. My life has changed for the better. It's all about the Son and Father in heaven. My loyalty's with them forever. The world thinks we're crazy just for praising Yah. They put us all to shame just for praising Yah. But we don't give a damn cause we true at heart. We know who we are. We're children of Yahweh. 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 The world thinks we're crazy just for praising Yah. They put us all to shame just for praising Yah. But we don't give a damn cause we're true at heart. We know who we are. We're children of Yahweh. All praise to Yahweh. 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 Yes, Yahweh.
Wow. All praise to Yah. That just made my day right there. Let me write him back real quick. Shalom, Malone. Thank you for your kind words, brother. It's feedback like this that makes me continuously keep doing what I do for Yahweh Ben Yahweh and Father Yahweh Elohim. I hope you and your queen stay well and grow spiritually stronger together. May no weapons formed against you all prosper. And may the Most High favor her with a successful pregnancy so that you both may have a healthy, beautiful child. Barakatah. All praise to Yah. All praise Yahweh. Hey.
Alright, the informationalist.
All right, brothers and sisters, the man of the hour is coming to the stage and to the microphone. Let's give him a nice big round of applause. Let's give it up for the health and nutrition coach by the name of Robert Moore. Welcome to the show, brother.
Peace. I appreciate you having me.
And I appreciate you making time to come on to the show. And please forgive me. I'm going to be looking at the big screen and over to you. So it's not that I'm trying not to look at you, but I got to look at the big screen too. So, brother,
no worries.
Thank you so much for coming on. I came across you on one of my followers shared a video of yours to me. And I really like what I saw. I thought you had great stuff. I see that you're a family man, you're a father, you know what I mean? And I thought that I don't know. I just got some really good vibes off of what you were doing. And I said, let me invite the brother to the show. And you said yes. You didn't give me no funniness or some, funny, shady kind of character. So I was like, oh, great. I like when things flow like that. So if you could do everybody a favor and introduce yourself and briefly tell your story and how you came to be a plant-based health nutrition coach and how that transformed your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So first off, thank you for having me on and opening the space. I truly appreciate you and the person in your audience that shared my content with you. Everybody that's doing it. I'm a normal person, so I'm truly humbled by all of this, man. So there'll never be any pushback with me. But so I'm Coach Robert Moore, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in to the show and listening to my story. So my story it's long and short at the same time. So my health journey started back when I was 18, back in 99. I decided to go vegetarian. I broke away from the normalcy of what was the tradition of my family. So I gave up beef, pork, and all that good stuff. And in hindsight, I find out I did what's called lacto-ovo vegetarian, because I was still eating eggs and dairy, and fish. So fast forward 2013, my mom passes away of cancer. And this was a real big blow to me. It was one of my best friends. And so it made me look a little bit deeper at my eating habits, because even though I was vegetarian, I was still eating a lot of processed foods, still drinking a lot of the whey protein shakes and things of that sort, because I was in a constant focus to gain weight. So a little bit more backstory. When I graduated high school, I weighed 115 pounds. So needless to say, I went through a journey to bulk up and put on some weight. I got tired of being a skinny guy. And so that's really what started my fitness journey. Was way back then, is really determined to build the body that I wanted and no longer be a skinny guy. So over time, I was able to bulk up to 155 pounds. I know that doesn't sound like a lot to most people, but from a guy that was 115 pounds, that was a big accomplishment for me. So back to 2013. So after my mom passing, I really took a closer look at the things that I was doing. In 2014, my first son was born. And so me and my ex-wife looked at each other and said, okay, it's really time for us to make a change and do what we need to do, because not only did my mom pass of cancer, she had heart attacks in her 40s. She had high blood pressure. She had diabetes. My dad has high blood pressure, diabetes, gout, and her family has a history. So we knew we were predisposed to certain things just because of what our family went through. And we decided that we were going to put a stop to it and not continue that. So we went fully plant-based. In doing that, we were able to make sure that our children didn't have to unlearn the habits that we were unlearning.
Wow, that's an amazing story.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. And so some of the benefits that I saw were I suffered with irritable bowel syndrome most of my adult life. And if you don't know, that's basically if you've ever, especially if you have female audience, imagine your menstrual cramps, just walking around with that bloated irritability, that gas, just stomach cramps. It was very uncomfortable, and it was due to the gluten and the dairy that I was constantly eating, because the protein shakes that I was drinking were whey isolate protein shakes, and that is one of the worst proteins that you can actually put in your body, that I know now in retrospect. But I was able to get rid of that, cleared up and increased my energy. So I was able to have better sleep. At the same time, I had just started a business. So I was running 12 hours a day as a real estate agent, new father. So we were burning it at both ends of the candles, and I still had the energy to make it through the day without the crash that most people typically have around noon. And so that was my journey, and the things that really changed over for me, because I already lived healthy. I didn't see the mental fog that cleared up. So the mental clarity that I was able to gain was unspeakable. It's one of those things that's almost, you have to experience it to be able to understand it. So fast forward a couple of years, I was working in a position, and a coworker of mine's always talked to me about how I was living, because worked out, ate healthy, and he had a daughter of his own. My friend was 6'3", over 300 pounds. He really couldn't get in the floor to play with his daughter the way he wanted to. And so he asked for my help. I created a meal plan and a fitness program for him. And within 4 months, he dropped about 30 pounds, increased his mobility, and was able to enjoy life again. And that's when the light bulb for me went off. That's what I was supposed to be doing. Just the satisfaction of being able to help him regain his health and that quality of life that we all deserve was the sticking point for me. And so since then, that's been my mission, is to help other people break the generational curse of eating bad and regain their quality of life, so that as we put years behind us, we can really enjoy it and be that example for the next generation.
Now, brothers and sisters in the chat room, shout outs to all of y'all. I see y'all in here. Definitely Room taking notes. Absolutely. You should definitely take notes on this episode. Any questions that you have for Brother Moore, put them in the chat room now. Get them in there, because he's not going to be here too long, but he's going to be here long enough to answer a lot of questions. So feel free to start dropping those questions in the chat room and we'll ask him. I'm going to play a little bit of, I guess it's devil's advocate. I'm going to play a little bit of negative Nelly right now with you, where I hear this a lot. It's too expensive to eat organically and eat plant-based foods because they're so expensive. What do you have to say to that?
It is very interesting that you bring that as a counterpoint, because I just made a post about how you can eat plant-based on a budget. So if you go into this trying to eat the vegan processed foods, the prepackaged foods, yes, it is going to be expensive. Absolutely. That stuff is expensive because it's prepackaged. And yes, eating completely organic can get expensive. But I asked as a counterpoint to that, how much does a new kidney cost?
A new kidney,
over $300,000, and that's not including the surgery.
That's not including. I was just going to say that I was a health insurance broker, so I know that when it comes to surgeries and them being covered is a whole nother story, and it is expensive. Speaking on that, give me let's say a customer or a client comes to you and says, "Hey, I don't have a lot of money, but I want to start, getting in better shape. I want to start living healthy. I want that clarity." And by the way, that clarity you spoke of, the only time I really experienced it at a high level is when I fast.
Yes.
That's the only time. And I fast a lot now, but I'm not eating healthy. I just ate some spaghettis and meatballs right before I came out to the show. And I started getting kind of almost like an acid reflux when I was talking. But I drink a lot of alkaline water. So for somebody like myself, or somebody that comes to you and says, "Hey, I don't have a big budget," what's some of the first things that you can put them onto to start, eating properly, eating to live, not living to eat?
Dig it. So some of the easiest things that you can do are so simple that you wouldn't even recognize that you're doing them. Eat more fruit, add more fruits and vegetables to your plate. Remove your heavy breakfast and replace it with a smoothie or some oats, overnight oats, because those are grains. The grains are what you need for the fiber to help everything move through your body smoothly. One of the biggest questions that people always ask as a vegan plant-based person is, where do you get your protein? When they don't realize that 8 out of 10 Americans are fiber deficient, meaning that they aren't going to the bathroom enough. So those are a couple of things there. So oats, your quinoa, black beans, your grains, your legumes, those are very inexpensive. And those are your replacements for your expensive meat, because meat is what, $8 a pound, $10 a pound? I haven't even looked at it, so I'm only guessing.
It's going to keep going up from there too.
But lentils, you can get a 1 pound bag of lentils for $2. A 1 pound bag of lentils will make you a whole pot of soup, plus some leftovers. So your regular fruits and vegetables, your bananas are inexpensive. Tomatoes, spinach, kale, these are inexpensive foods that you can get at your local grocery store, and everything doesn't have to be organic. There are certain foods that you do want to buy organic just because of the toxic load that they carry, because of those are some of the foods that are highly sprayed with pesticides and the herbicides and things like that. So any of your berries or the fruits where you eat the skin, those are the foods that you want to focus on eating organic. If you're not eating the skin or it's not sitting on the ground, it's a food that you don't have to buy organic. So there are ways that you can mix and match what's organic and what's not to really seat that budget. So for those that are taking notes, look up the Dirty Dozen fruits and veggies, and that's going to give you the foods that are most sprayed with those chemicals like Roundup and all of that. And also something that I've just learned in switching over to is eat organic oats, because those oats are one of the highest sprayed crops with Roundup. And, you know, Roundup has the glyphosate and all of the connections that have been tied to that.
It's interesting you bring that up. I have a Kangen water system. Now, the Kangen water system extracts the acidity within water and then electricizes it into alkaline, takes out the acidity. So when it separates the acidic water, you can actually use that water to clean your house. But what you can also use it for is when you have those types of fruits and vegetables that have the pesticides, you can dip the fruit into the acidic water, and the acidic water will take all of the pesticides off the fruit. Then you dip it into alkaline water and it completely cleans it. And that fruit will taste like it was grown like it's supposed to. So for anybody that has some type of alkaline electricized machine, you can use the acid water to clean your fruit. I have some questions here. And one of the questions is, do you drink alkaline water?
So me personally, I do not drink alkaline water. I drink distilled water. I distill my own water. So for me, the alkaline movement has become very commercialized, and marketing water that has a higher pH level doesn't sway me to drink it, because as long as the water has a neutral or higher pH level, your body's going to absorb it the same. So the fact that it has a 9.4 pH level does not create more absorption or more pH level in your own body, because once it hits your body, it's going to balance out to whatever the pH level of your body is.
You know, I agree with you on that, but I do drink 9.5. Been doing it since 2006, and it's worked wonders. Because if it wasn't for that, with the type of diet that I have or the type of nutrition that if you want to even call it that, I don't think I would have made it this far not being ill. I don't get sick.
Understood.
Distilled water. Let me ask you a question about that. Is it good to drink distilled water every day?
I've been drinking distilled water every day for the last 7 years.
Wow.
That is my main source of water. And a lot of people will say, oh, well, it leaches the nutrients from your bones or from your body. No, it doesn't. If your body is plentiful of nutrients, there's nothing to leach. What it will leach is the heavy metals and the toxins so that it can be flushed from your system. So for you drinking the alkaline water, it has an additional benefit because it's coming into a more acidic tone. So it's helping to balance and bring that pH level up. Yeah. Whereas myself, I don't eat a lot of those things that are bringing that pH level down. So to drink it, I didn't see any additional benefit, because I tried it for a little while and it was just extra water. It had a different taste, but I preferred the clean, crisp taste of the distilled water personally, since I've been drinking it so long. Absolutely. Because it's literally tasteless. And so it's very crisp in that sense. And because I eat a wide variety of foods, I am not concerned with my water having nutrients in it. Plus, I drink coconut water for additional hydration and nutrients.
Love that coconut water, brother. Oh man, that coconut water is no joke. I love real coconut water. Like my family's from Puerto Rico, so I stock up over there when I get the real coconut, and then they, have it in the cooler, and then they chop it up. We have another question here from an actual fitness coach, Brother Roria. He says, Brother Moore, I'm a fitness trainer, but I have no clients. He's just starting out. He says, how can I attract clients? And congratulations to you for getting 100,000 subscribers on IG. Saw that.
Thank you. Yeah, my audience has grown significantly in the last few weeks. Just a couple of pieces of content have really resonated with the people in it, and it's done great. The word that I would say to the brother is consistency. Find your avenue, find wherever you plan on attracting that client base from. So for me, 90% of my clients come from IG, because that is the platform that I chose to use to spread my message. And find your message and start talking it. Find who you're talking to and start solving their problems for them for free through your content. And people are going to start to reach out to you. Your audience will grow, and then that will give you that opportunity. In the short term, I would take on a client or two for free just to get the results, because once you have those before and afters, you can leverage that in your marketing or in your content to help attract additional customers and clients.
Do you believe in the concept that I've learned a long time ago, that give more and you'll get back more, in the sense that the more you give your clients, the better off you'll be? Meaning,
absolutely,
like, give more than what you're getting paid for?
Absolutely. That's a law of life.
Yeah.
That's a law of life in business in general, is to do more than what you're paid for, and you'll find that you're getting paid more for what you do.
Now, in regards to the question from the brother, have you invested some dollars into your marketing?
My marketing, no, $0. Everything that I've grown is 100% organic. Literally at the end of February, I was at 1,800 people in my audience. March 1st, I had 1,900 people in my audience. So
Right.
between then and now, it's just a few pieces of content that that did very well. One was a content about me talking about bottled water and the chemicals that they put in the water. And it became very controversial. Some people telling me, oh, those are electrolytes, or those are the minerals that they put. And some are understanding that, hey, yeah, I do realize that when I drink that, I'm more thirsty. Or, hey, yeah, my blood pressure goes up when I'm drinking this particular water. So that really started to gain some traction. And then I started to create additional content. And I think it's probably the content piece that was sent to you, the one about inflammation, that's done really well, that really has sparked a huge part of the growth. And I'm just sitting back and enjoying and marveling in it, because I've been posting consistently on Instagram every day for the last 2 years, 2.5 years almost.
And that is consistency, and it does the job. It does. I agree with you. Yeah.
And so that's it. It's just consistency. So it took me 2.5 years to be this. Or it took 2.5. I can finally say it took 2.5 years to have overnight success.
We have a question from Brother Cook. It says, what is H3O2 fruit?
H3O2 fruit. So that's a concept that the water inside of fruit has a higher hydration capacity and capability for you. So drinking coconut water, for instance, is that H3O2. So that's what they mean by that. It's just meaning that you are getting some of the most hydrating water that you can get by eating fruits and vegetables. So eating watermelon, eating any melons are high in water content. Any of your dark leafy greens or leafy greens in general are high in water content. Your citrus fruits are high in water content. And those are the waters that not only are you going to be hydrated, but you're getting the additional nutrients that you need, so that you don't have to drink water with nutrients in it.
Makes sense.
To tie it back into their water video.
Yeah. Question from Brother Jacob is, do you eat vegan meat products?
So I do not eat them regularly. I do not believe in any lifestyle that says 100% this way all the time. I believe in 80-20 in every aspect of my life. 80. And so with the way that I eat, 80% whole food, plant-based, 20% junk food, vegan. That way I know in a situation where I'm hungry, I'm out on the road, I'm traveling, I don't have to put the undue stress on myself to be this perfect, ideal plant-based or vegan person, as long as it's something that I know it's not going to be extra detrimental to my health. And because the other 80% of the time I'm eating so healthy that me eating a little bit of plant-based meat is not going to hurt. Now, I preference that I have never eaten an Impossible Burger, just because Impossible Burger itself, the chemical or the nutrient that they found in the plant that makes it taste like meat, they GMO'd that plant to create more of it. So that is a GMO product. So no, I will not eat Impossible Burger or the Impossible Meat, whichever one of those is, the Impossible whatevers. However, Beyond Meat, I do occasionally eat. I'll eat their sausage, their breakfast sausage occasionally, probably once, maybe twice a month.
Can you give an example of what you just mentioned about junk vegan when you're on the road? Give me an example of something you would eat that's not going to be detrimental to your well-being.
So just to give you an essence, forget even on the road or while I'm home, a junk food vegan ice cream. It's processed. And so when I say vegan junk food, anything that's processed beyond a whole food meal. So the Just Eggs product, that's vegan junk food. It is an alternative for somebody who is eating eggs. It's healthier than regular eggs, but there's a healthier alternative than the Just Eggs itself because of the oil that's added to it. So that's a vegan junk food, to give you an idea. However, I eat that maybe twice a month, because it's convenient, and I like the breakfast sausage, and to the convenience of it adds in because the other eggs takes a little bit longer in process.
For a man like myself that is 44 years old and wanting to change his lifestyle in what I'm putting into my body, just generalizing, you don't have to go too in depth. What type of budget financially would I need to get all the right nutrients in my body on a 30-day basis, reoccurring?
Instead of doing 30 days, let's go weekly. If we're talking about for just yourself, you could easily pull it off with $100 to $125 a week. Easily.
Okay, so we're looking at $500 a month.
Overstating it. Yes.
Oh, overstating. Okay, so anywhere from $400 to $500.
So you could probably get it even less if you really had to bootstrap it and you were basically eating the staples. You could do it for less, but making sure that you have the variety and you're getting everything else. Budget $400 to $500 a month for your grocery bill. And so for me and my two sons, and I have my sons 2 weeks out of the month, I spend probably $700 to $800 a month on food, and that's even including when we eat out.
Got you. When it comes to that, to eating on that type of budget, my question to you is, what if somebody wants to get into changing their lifestyle with eating? What are some of the things they have to stop doing? Perfect.
So that is very simple, and I'll cover it with my 5 pillars of health. I think that will help cover the gambit for anybody who is looking to make improvements and changes in their health for the better. The first pillar is eat nutrient-rich foods. So that's whole food, plant-based. So that means cut out any animal product that's meat, dairy, because those things cause inflammation and cause you to age. They're carcinogenic. 2, in replacing those, add more color to your plate. The more color on your plate, the more nutrients you're going to have. And when you're eating nutrient rich foods, those foods are typically lower in calories. So you're lowering your calorie intake so that you'll be able to start to see some of the excess fat start to shred. The second pillar of health is drink enough water. Most people are chronically dehydrated. Dehydration causes mental fog. Dehydration causes your organs to overwork. So, rule of thumb, 1 ounce of water for every pound. I'm sorry, a half ounce of water for every pound. So a 200-pound person should be drinking 100 ounces of water a day. A 100-pound person should be drinking 50 ounces of water a day. Drink enough water. Third pillar of health, get enough sleep. Get 6 to 8 hours of sleep every single day. Sleep is the time when your body actually does the repairing and the healing of itself. So you fill it with the nutrients during the day so that at night it has the tools that it needs to repair itself. Fourth tenet is move every day. It does not have to be strenuous, crazy exercise, but you need to get up and move. You need to get up and walk. You need to get up and do some jumping jacks, do some pushing puts, walk around, play with your dog, dance, whatever kind of movement works for you. You have to move your body every day. Otherwise it will become stagnant, and you need the movement to activate your lymphatic system. And your lymphatic system is a huge part of your body, often not talked about. And the fifth area of health, or pillar of health, is have healthy stress management. Stress is one of the biggest killers of all those because it causes cortisol. Cortisol causes us to gain weight. Cortisol throws off all of our other hormones. So by managing your stress properly through breathing techniques, it's the simplest way that you can manage your stress. You feel like you're getting angry, or the world's coming down on you, sit down, tune in with yourself by listening and tuning into your breath. 2, yoga. You can use drawing, whatever you do or find that's a healthy way to manage your stress. Those are the 5 pillars of health that will take you far and beyond. Now, to dial it back and get micro for you on the eating habits, remove the meat, replace it with beans and legumes. So chickpeas, black beans, red beans, kidney beans, lentils. Lentils are some of the most diverse beans that you can find. I know that you're Caribbean, so your grains, move away from the white rice and the brown rice and do wild rice or quinoa.
Yeah. I eat a lot of white rice and yellow rice and brown.
Move away from the dairy. Anything that you need dairy for, there is a coconut or an almond-based product that you can buy to replace it. So those are the 3 areas that I would really focus on for anybody that's really looking to get started and that does not want to feel unsatiated, because that's a problem that most people will say is, oh, you vegans are thin and skinny, you always look hungry. Not at all.
Yeah. I have another question for you from Brother Kyle, Christian. But before I ask you that question, this was a question that was asked to me in another platform that I participated in. I personally like to go to farmers markets here in Florida. I'm pretty sure you know of them where you live. You're in Florida as well. What if you could give 3 places that people can shop commercially, or let's just say commercially, because not every place that's independent is located around the country. What are 3 stores that you can suggest for people to shop at where they're going to get quality foods?
That is a hard one to say, because I've found with working with people throughout the country that quality of food changes from state to state, depending on the store. So here in South Florida, where I am, the super Walmarts are actually pretty decent with their produce. I had a client that was in Mississippi, didn't have the same experience. Aldi's here in South Florida are pretty good. When I lived in St. Louis, the Aldi's produce, not so much. But I'm thinking that it's really you have to go in and determine for yourself. So if you're looking for budget conscious stores, of course, start with your Walmart, start with your Aldi. Trader Joe's are going to be some of your least expensives, and then from there, go to your best known. Here in South Florida, we have Publix.
Yep.
I found that Publix is actually almost as expensive as Whole Foods.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So it really determines. You have to try it out. Now, what some people will be able to find are their local cultural stores.
Yes.
And you'll be surprised at the foods that you find there that are very inexpensive. So being here in South Florida, there's the Haitians that have their grocery stores. There are the Hispanic grocery stores. And so there's the Asian grocery stores, which Asian grocery stores are also going to be a great find for you to find a lot of your exotic mushrooms, a lot of your other grains that you may not have access to. And almost every market has an Asian market in it. So those are some of the areas that I would focus on for those small areas where they may not have a lot, but they have some of those more cultural shops that they can stop by. Pop in and you'd be surprised what you find in there.
Okay, thank you for that answer. Question from Brother Kyle. He says, Robert, how about cayenne pepper as opposed to black pepper?
So as opposed to, it really depends on what you're using it for. Cayenne pepper has a lot of great health attributes to it. And so does black pepper. For instance, black pepper, when used with turmeric or in curcumin, it helps with the absorption of curcumin, which is the active ingredient in turmeric. So using it in conjunction with that, it's great. Using it as a seasoning still tastes good. Cayenne pepper is great for opening the blood vessels, excuse me, clearing congestion and things of that sort. So it has its benefits as well. So I wouldn't say one is better than the other. They each have their own application, and it's up to personal preference when it comes to seasoning.
Yeah, he's making fun of me. He said Kanye. So the reality is that where there's a will, there's a way. And no matter what, you can find a way to get yourself healthy instead of, unhealthy. My next question to you. I have these supplements that have been working wonders for me from Dr. Gundry. It's repaired the stomach lining within my stomach. I've been taking it for about almost a year now, and I've felt a significant difference in my body. What would you say to the people that buy supplements? So let's say, for example, there's people like myself where I have these supplements from Dr. Gundry. I also have the real olive oil that has the, what is it called? Phenol or something like that. That chemical in it helps with the blood circulation. There's people like my queen who buys sea moss pills. What would you say to that? Is that something good to keep in habit and practice, is buying these types of good herbs and minerals and vitamins that are supplemental?
Supplements are always good when they are coming from a good source and you know what the ingredients are.
Okay.
So that's the caveat with that, because in today's market, unfortunately, there are a lot of people that are looking to take advantage of people who are looking to get healthy, because there is money to be made in this market. And so with that being said, there are a lot of people who do not have the level of integrity that you would hope that they would have. So sea moss is always a great supplement. I'm not familiar with the ones that you spoke of, so I wouldn't give any ups or downs, but if it's working for you, go for it. I only advise people to do their research and make sure that what they're getting is what they need.
Absolutely. Let me see if we have any other questions here. Okay, brothers and sisters, if you have more questions, drop them in the chat room. I noticed in some of your videos on IG, you work out. and you give tutorials on simple workouts. What would you suggest to somebody who's not in the habit of exercising? What would be the adequate time frame for them to exercise, as far as time frame on a daily basis, or how many days in a week should they be engaging in exercise?
So exercise you should engage in every single day, because just getting up to walk can be exercising. Riding your bike, walking your dog, playing with the kids can be exercise.
Yeah, I do a lot of that. I do a lot of walking with the dog and running sometimes.
So for somebody who's looking to take it to the next level and wants to add strength training and cardio and these more advanced exercises, 3 to 5 days a week is sufficient. 30 minutes at a time is sufficient with a 10-minute warm up. So 40 minutes is all you really need. And I focus on body weight training just because I'm 40 years old. I may not look it in my pictures and everything, but I'm 40. And so when I was younger, I lifted weights and it took a little bit of a toll on my body because I was lifting heavier than I needed to because of the look that I was going for. And so now I use body weight resistance and resistance bands, and I'm able to create the physique that I want with that alone, with that level of resistance. And so it's really just comes down to what your goals are and what you want to do. And for somebody that's looking to get started out, you don't want to overexert yourself and hurt yourself or burn yourself out to the point where it's like, you know what, I'm not going to work out no more, because your body is really has built-in mechanisms that it's going to be like, yeah, no, well, it's going to psychologically say, yeah, I'm not doing that. So not going too hard too soon is always a good approach. So for somebody starting off, strength training 3 days a week and do mobility training the other 2 days.
We have a question from Brother Roria. He says, my wife has a B12 deficiency due to type 2 diabetes. What would you recommend?
A B12 supplement.
A B12 supplement.
A spray works. You can also buy certain foods that are fortified with B12. Most of your plant milks are fortified with B12 as well.
Great. Jacob says, Robert, do you use barbells for working out?
I have 2 dumbbells. I am actually looking into a barbell just for my legs because I want to start lifting heavier with my legs. And I found that the resistance bands are cool, but I want to get a barbell for my legs. I don't anymore. I did when I was younger, but currently the tools that I use to work out are a pull-up bar, a TRX suspension trainer, and my resistance bands.
Brother, how tall are you?
5'9".
Okay. How much do you weigh?
140.
Okay. I'm 5'11". I weigh about 195 pounds right now. I got a gut, but the good thing is that my gut is not as big as it used to be. It's actually a lot flatter, but it's still there. Because of these supplements, I'm doing very well. What would be the proper weight for me to get to at my height? Because I was shooting for 170.
I'd have to look it up, but at 5'11", you'd be good at 170, 175. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I used to do the high weight index for insurance, but I wanted to hear what you had to say because I do feel somewhat sluggish at times because of my weight. You know, I still got a lot of mobility for a 44-year-old man, but I want to be at a peak level. Like I used to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as far as that BMI chart goes, I do not subscribe to it 100% just because, like most things in the medical industry, it was created and designed for only one particular segment of the population. And it's not inclusive and encompassing of the entire population. So melanated people tend to hold weight a little bit better than non-melanated people. So we can have a little bit higher BMI and still be healthy as long as it's not fat and it's muscle.
Gotcha. Speaking of that, how much you live in Florida like myself. How much sunlight do you think we, as far as melanated people? Because I'll be honest with you, and I'm for everybody. I'm universal. You know what I mean? If you got a good spirit to you, that's what I'm about. I don't subscribe too much to the white, black social construct that was created to divide humanity. But the reality is that those that are not melanated can't be in the sun too long and all that. All the people in this chat room are melanated people. What would you suggest for our brothers and sisters that are highly melanated? How much sun should we be getting?
Minimum of 20 minutes a day.
Okay.
Minimum. And if you're not able to get 20 minutes a day, make sure that you're taking a vitamin D supplement.
Maximum?
There's no maximum.
Okay.
Go enjoy yourself. Go get charged up.
Yeah, because I get about an hour to an hour and a half in my backyard, and I love it. I love the sun.
There's no such thing as a maximum. That's like saying that like you can overcharge your battery.
I shared a video on IG about how sunlight can actually minimize your threat of cancer, and it actually can take away cancerous cells out the body through sunlight. And they've done research on it in studies, and it's very doable. I mean, it's something that works, because they say, oh, you get too much sunlight, you're going to get skin cancer. But I feel like that's for people that are not melanated, right? For more of the European man and woman here. Either way, though, I'm glad you said that. So brothers and sisters, you can never get too much sunlight, but definitely get at least 20 minutes. If not, take a vitamin D supplement. Kyle says, Robert, I'm 230 pounds. I'm 5'11". I mix calisthenics and weights. What else could you suggest?
It's really going to come down to how you're eating. Let me not make it that simple.
No, he said, I'm sorry. He said I'm 50. My bad. Sorry about that. He said I'm 51. I thought he said, okay. I saw the two eyes next to each other. Yeah, he's 51. Right. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. So age plays a small role in it. Just because as we get older, we have a little bit less testosterone and just things don't move as easily. However, that's not going to stop you. What I would focus on is making sure that you are eating the right foods, because the right foods are going to, one, help you balance out your insulin resistance. The insulin resistance is what's helping your body hold on to the fat. And it's also going to make sure that you're getting the proper calories and that you can eat in a calorie deficit, but not so large a deficit that your body goes into starvation mode. Because most people undereat when they are trying to lose weight, which actually undercuts their results. So even though you are looking to lose weight, because of the amount that you currently weigh, you should not be eating under 2,500 calories. So the answer to that, the long answer will be to find out what and it's called your total daily energy expenditure is. That's basically your metabolism rate. That's the amount of calories that you would burn in a day just by living and doing nothing, just existing. And then you're going to find, and that's going to give you a number. And then you're going to subtract 200 from that number. And that's the amount of calories that you want to eat in a day.
How many calories do you eat in a day?
I no longer track calories, but my goal is to be over 3,000 calories because I'm still looking to put on more weight. So a little bit more about my story. When me and my ex-wife separated, I went into a deep depression and I ended up back at 115 pounds. So over the last 2.5 years, I've built my body back up to 140 and I'm looking to go to 150, 55. And so in order for me to do that, I have to be in a calorie surplus and train. And so I'm going for about 33,000 calories a day right now.
Wow. Wow. So when you were pretty skinny then, right? You was probably like meat and bones, like bones,
yeah,
like where you can see your rib cage.
I wouldn't say, I never look, it's crazy because I don't look a whole lot bigger now in my eyes, but yeah, it was a situation for sure.
Yeah. We're about, let's see.
No, we still got a little bit of time left. Let's keep it rolling.
All right, cool. If you don't mind, let's talk about the spiritual aspect in all of this, right? Like, what would you suggest that people do spiritually to keep their level of frequency at a high rate and their level of vibration, right? Because the higher your vibration, the less opportunity for things like stress to overcome and to subdue you. So what are some good spiritual practices? And you don't have to get too specific because I know everybody has their own belief systems. A lot of the brothers and sisters in this chat room believe in the Most High, believe in Yah Elohim. But it doesn't matter to me if you call them God, the Most High, the great creator, whatever it is. I believe that everybody should have some type of spiritual connection to a higher source. What are some good universal spiritual practices that people can engage in to keep their level of their level of perception of themselves high? Because I think that a lot of stress is induced by our perceptions of ourselves. And when we start perceiving ourselves less than what we truly are, that's when stress and self-doubt can really subdue you. So what would you suggest?
So I'll make it even more practical for you and remove the spiritual aspect of it, because once you add that, it can divide people. And I'm going to get super practical for you and make this every day. Number one is move with intention. Know why you are doing everything that you're doing. Why are you eating what you're eating? Why are you watching what you're watching? Why are you engaging in the conversation that you're engaging in? Or not even just why, what do you get from it? Because that's an even deeper question. You get better answers when you have better questions. And what questions are better than why questions? So moving with intention is number one. Number two is moving with compassion for yourself first and for others. So the compassion for yourself is going to overcome the issue that you just brought up of feeling less than, because when you're compassionate with yourself, it gives you the space to make a mistake. It gives you the space to say, okay, I'm going to start this thing, do it for 2 days, fall off. It gives you the compassion to say, it's okay. This is something new. It's going to be hard. We fell off today. Let's pick back up tomorrow.
You got another one?
Those are my top two. Like I said, I do my best not to complicate things, brother.
Yeah,
and those are the top two. Move with intention and move with compassion with yourself first. Because if you can accept your own flaws, it makes you easier to accept someone else's and not judge them. Because judgment, and I was going to elaborate that. So the opposite of compassion is judgment, and judgment leads to blame and guilt. And so if you're blaming yourself for feeling guilty, that actually shuts off the creative parts of your brain and the action parts of your brain. So every time you berate yourself or you beat yourself up or you call yourself this silly name or whatever it is, one, the universe doesn't have the sense of humor. So it's going to bring more opportunities for that to happen. But two, on a more practical level, you're basically telling yourself, hey, this ain't where it's at. Versus being compassionate with yourself and saying, I'm human. This is hard. I can understand why it's going to be that way. Let's pick it up tomorrow. Now it's not putting any blame. It's not putting any guilt, and you're leaving the creative part of your brain open to take action.
Let's give Brother Robert Moore a round of applause for that answer, because I am in 100% agreement for that. Something I talk about a lot on my show is putting forth righteous intentions every day in your life, because do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And I truly agree with you. And that is something I practice a lot in putting forth righteous intentions every day of my life, what I'm doing, why I'm doing what I do, and not caring about what other people think about that. Because if I'm not hurting you or if I'm not putting you at a disadvantage, why should I feel or care about something you're judging me on based upon how I'm living my life? And I agree with you 100% on that, especially with the compassion part, because I think that the brothers and sisters around the world really need to understand that these things that you just mentioned are universal, what I call universal powers. And the more you exercise that power, the more powerful you become, and the less you give the status quo mentality and opportunity to seep into your inner recessive genes that are built in your neural pathways to make you start feeling a certain way about yourself. So I'm in complete agreement. I like the fact that you generalized it. What are some of the things that you suggest for people to be the starting point, right? Let's say I'm a dude that has no knowledge of anything that you just spoke about today. I'll give you a perfect example. My brother eats Twinkies every day. He drinks a gallon of milk every 2 days. And I'm not talking about 2% skim. I'm talking about the red label. He's drinking that. He has a bunch of health problems that are slowly but surely progressing in his life. He's about 54 years old, 53. And it's sad to see on my end because no matter what I tell him, I'm the youngest in the family. So it's like whatever I have to say means nothing. But yet I look a lot better than my siblings, and I haven't had any health conditions. Present day. All praise to the Most High for that. What would you suggest to that male or female that wants to break free from the cycle of lack in their health?
Great question. So I'm glad you prefaced it because there are two different type of people. There are people who see that the current path that they're on is leading them down the way that they don't want to go and they want to change. And there are people who see that path and they don't care. And so the person who doesn't care, you won't be able to help. And I had to come to that terms myself as a coach and having family members that don't necessarily want to follow the advice that I prescribe to. Now, the person that wants to make a change, educate yourself. And some of the easiest ways to educate yourself is to watch documentaries, because you already have a lot of information compiled into a 90-minute to 2-hour time block, and you already sit down and watch a 2-hour movie anyway. So you might as well replace that entertainment with something that is going to be educational and entertaining all at the same time, because most of the documentaries are pretty cool anyway. So I think that is a good starting point for people who don't know anything at all. And the reason why that's a good starting point is because it's going to help you break some of the myths as well as get some of the science behind why you need to be making the move. Because one of the hardest parts that some people have had or expressed to me having is getting over the psychological break of making the change and having to deal with the social construct that's going to come with it, or the better way, the social pressure that comes with making the change within your family, being the only person in your family that's changing, being the only person at the family reunion or at the family gathering that's eating plant-based, and now having to field all of the questions and all of the concerns that people have for your new well-being. It's crazy that when you start eating healthy, people are worried about your health, but when you're eating unhealthy, people don't care.
Yeah, it's true. That is very true.
So that's where I would start is through education, and then following people like myself or there's tons of other people on social media that have good quality information. And I am of the belief of listen to everything, apply what makes sense. So to give an example, I will never speak ill about Dr. Sebi's teachings because they have worked for some people. I do not follow them. So for instance, I eat pineapple. The video that has done well for me, a lot of people are in the comments saying, well, Dr. Sebi said don't eat pineapples. I don't follow Dr. Sebi. So there's more than one way to approach health. And so you don't have to be locked into this totalitarian approach of follow just this one person or this one view or this one lane. Make it your lifestyle because you're the one that have to live it. It has to be sustainable for you. So that's why the whole alkaline, only eating alkaline foods. Yeah, you don't have to only eat alkaline foods. You need to eat foods to make sure that your body is at a neutral pH balance or maybe a little alkaline so that it's not acidic. And so that principle is great, but the lengths and extremes that some people go to create it, I think creates resistance for people who want to be healthy.
Great answer. Because I saw a video about the skin of pineapples being boiled and made into a tea, and it works wonders for the immune system. So I agree with you 110%. You know, Bruce Lee taught that philosophy in his martial arts theories, is that stick to what works for you. And he was a firm believer that when he taught his students, he can only teach you but so much. And once you reach the certain level, you have to take that journey by yourself to evolve in your mixed martial arts prowess or skill set. How much time do you have, brother?
We can go for about another 10 minutes.
Okay, cool. So I don't see any more questions. So let's take this time out. A couple of things I want to mention to the people listening. A lot of you in this chat room and those that are outside the chat room and then download my show around the world. What I'm going to start doing on a weekly basis is I'll start sharing your videos in my feed.
Yes, thanks, brother.
To give people, you know, access to you. As well as in the description box, if you want to get more info about Coach Robert Moore, the link is right there, brothers and sisters. CoachRobertMoore.com. You could visit him. One last thing, and then you can give your closing statements. I was looking at the tea that you sell. Okay. If I purchase that tea, what is it going to be able to do for me? How long do I need to take it? Give me the stats on it, on what that can do for somebody.
Perfect. So the teas that you're referring to are my 14-day body reset cleanse. And I don't call it a detox specifically because it's a whole program. It's not just the teas themselves. So the teas, it's 7 different tea blends that are meant to cleanse your kidney, your liver, your large intestines, your lungs, your lymphatic system, your blood, and a whole body blend as well, so that it focuses on pushing toxins from those areas. And to accompany that, I've included a meal plan that has you eating whole food, plant-based, so that you're eating enough fiber and eating the right nutrients to help complement the detoxification process. Because what some people do is when they go to detoxes, they stop eating, but then they don't give their body any fiber for those toxins to adhere to be flushed from their body. So I've incorporated that. I've also incorporated breathing exercises and moving exercises to help you reset your parasympathetic system so that you can get the full benefits of the detox as well. So this is exactly what I have it named as. It's a full body reset. You can expect to have more mental clarity. You can expect to release some waste that you may have been holding on to. If you're not going to the bathroom at least twice a day, you got some waste you're holding on to. And I know some people who probably are not even going once a week. So it's going to help clear up all of those issues. You're going to see some skin clearing up. I've had people have the mental fog erase. I've had people talk about weight loss, but I don't prescribe it as weight loss because you're just changing up how you're eating for 14 days. So you're going to see some weight loss. And once you go back to how you normally eat, you may put a little bit back on. You're going to see your energy levels boost. So those are the benefits of it. It's a great starting point for anybody who's looking to clean out all of the old gunk and reset for the next step. So I always use the analogy for it of a tune-up for your car. So everybody takes their car for a tune-up and oil change every so many thousand miles. Doing a body reset, cleanse, detox is the same thing. You're getting rid of all the old oil that's been circulating through and filled with all the gunk and replacing it with the new, fresh nutrients.
We have another question here from Jacob. He says, Robert, do you eat, hope I'm pronouncing this right, quinoa?
Quinoa, yep.
Quinoa.
Sure do.
Okay.
So I eat quinoa as my rice replacement. So I eat quinoa more than I eat rice. So it's a grain, but it's actually not a grain. It's a seed. So it is high in protein, high in fiber, high in a bunch of other nutrients that I don't have memorized right now. If I had my notes in front of me, I can list them all.
Okay. And another thing before I forget, before you go, brothers and sisters in the chat, those listening to the show, those downloading later, I have a TV network coming out on Roku and on internet, networkofawareness.tv. My channel is going to have one subscription now. I'm not going to have my 4 subscriptions as I intended. I am going to have Robert come on to the channel. And what I want to do with you, Robert, because the way I have it set up, I'm going to be able to show diagrams or any type of video footage or any type of imagery along with the dialogue between yourself or anybody else. So what I want to do is have people like yourself, which I will, come on to the TV network and we do the 2 to 3 hour show giving in-depth descriptions to certain things people can do or whatever. So I already know we talked about it earlier. So brothers and sisters, Robert will be on the TV network, most likely in the month of August, whatever we figure out when you have time to dedicate to that, and definitely promote your services on TV. And reason being is because I get shadow banned a lot for my content. I get censored. So I have to find a way to reach more people like I have without having those restrictions. So keep an eye out for Robert on my TV network. He'll be on there as well. And from the looks of it, we have some people saying they're going to buy your products, brother. So that's good.
I appreciate that. So humble that everybody would. So for those that are in the chat, I want to thank each and every one of you all or listening to this at any point for taking the time to listen to this conversation and making sure that you can find out what you can do to make sure that you have the best health possible. Because to speak to the title of the show, Health is Holy, health is the greatest form of self-care. So for everybody that is on a spiritual journey, you can only get as far as your health will allow you. So if you are eating foods that are full of toxins, if you're eating foods that are highly processed, if you're eating foods that has karmic residue, it's going to be a hindrance on your elevation, because those are chemicals, those are products, those are foods that are going to be blocking your elevation. They're going to be blocking the decalcification of your pineal gland. So all of these movements and higher spiritual levels that you want to reach are right on the other side of good health.
Absolutely. And that's why I named it Health is Holy, because it's so sacred, our health, along with our spiritual understanding of who we truly are, opposed to what we're told we are. Quick question before you go. Do you plan, this is from Rory I. He says, plan on switching to vegan, veggie, and biblical fish diet. Is that any good?
So I do not believe in eating any animal flesh at all. Personally for myself, I will never tell another person what they should or shouldn't do. The downsides to eating fish is that they're high in fat. Most fish now are farmed and they are fed GMO'd grains. So you're getting the byproducts of that. And those that are wild caught are causing such havoc on the environment that, I don't know if the cost, the benefit cost is worth it. And so that's for me personally. Yeah. When you can get all the nutrients that you need from a whole food, plant-based lifestyle.
And also another thing, Brother Rory, a lot of the fish are having those microfiber plastics in them too, which is very toxic to the body. So Robert, before you go, I knew you was going to give a wealth of information, great substance information, as you did. So thank you for that. Any last comments for the podcast and for the listeners around the world?
Yes. So last regards, again, thank you all for being here. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Coach Robert Moore. You can find me online at coachrobertmoore.com. Take your health into your own hands. Be proactive. Do not wait for the doctor to tell you that you are sick or that you need to make a change or die. Once you've reached that point, you're fighting an uphill battle. You might as well take control of your health now by being proactive and taking the steps you need to improve your health, improve your mobility so that you can have that long, sustainable life. Only you can control it. Nobody else can do it for you. You can get all the tools. You can hear all the talks. You are the one that has to take the action. The way that you take that action is have a big enough why. Why do you want to do it? Why do you need to be healthy? Why do you need to live to be 100 years old? Or what pain is associated with eating what you're eating or living the lifestyle? What pain is associated with going down that road? If you continue to eat like you're eating, what's going to happen? Will you get to see your child graduate high school? Will you get to see your grandchildren be born? Will you get to go on that experience? Will you get to see that child be married? So that all of those life experiences that you could miss if you're not here because you didn't make your health a priority are what you will focus on to help keep you on track with this health thing. It's not as hard as the world makes it. It is very easy it's easier to not eat healthy than it is to eat healthy, but you can make it just as easy. Avoid the distractions. Absolutely. You got this. Live healthy.
Yep. And anything you practice for 30 days straight, it becomes habit. So definitely start practicing eating on a consistent basis, healthy, and put what you need in your body. Thank you, Robert, for your time. Greatly appreciate it. Check out Robert on IG. I'll be sharing him on my feed on IG. And I'll be sharing his videos on TikTok as well. So thank you so much for joining the Network of Awareness. And I'll be speaking to you soon. And, be safe out there because we are in some troubling times. And I think that this type of information is going to make us more aware and prepared for the warfare that's being waged on us, especially when it comes to our health and our foods.
Absolutely. I appreciate the invite. I appreciate the platform and the space to share my message and share my story and help me spread the word of good health. So closing statements, everybody, go live healthy.
Absolutely, brothers and sisters. Go live healthy. Thank you, brother. And I'll be speaking to you soon. Peace.
Peace.
All right. That was Coach Robert Moore, plant-based health nutrition coach. And you heard the brother say he's been drinking distilled water, and it's funny because when I lived in Airmont, New York, hold on a second, I'm starting to get some static here. When I used to live in Airmont, New York, oh, man, what's going on here? I lived around a lot of Hasidic Jews. And I noticed that a lot of the Hasidic Jews, or so-called Jews, right, brothers and sisters, they were buying distilled water like crazy. And I started putting two and two together. And the reason why they were drinking distilled water is because it's healthy for you. But I also found out, being a health insurance broker for the Hasidic community at that time, very well known, I was the only person they allowed in their house. I noticed that, give me 1 second here. I don't know what's going on with my microphone, but I noticed that because they have so many kids, the women weren't healing properly enough before they had their other child. So a lot of the children were coming out with physical deficiencies, like they had bad eyesight at a young age. They were deficient in calcium and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I noticed that a lot of them were drinking distilled water in order to maintain somewhat of good health. So if you're somebody who wants to drink distilled water, go for it. If you're somebody who wants to drink spring water or alkaline, I say go for it. What I would say also is don't drink tap water because you're going to get a bunch of chemicals in your body. You know, sometimes I noticed that when I've given my dog tap water, that it doesn't settle in his stomach properly and his feces comes out completely different. So stay away from chemically driven water that is our tap water because it's horrible. It's horrible. Also, shout outs to all the brothers and sisters that took time out to join this broadcast because, as I mentioned, I'm very much shadow banned around the world. There's certain countries where my show doesn't even get played anymore. And that's because of all the truth that's on this network. If you're someone who appreciates the type of content that I provide, when I start my TV network, definitely check it out because it's going to be no holds bar. Everything that I started out doing that I kind of not so much veered off, but I kind of had to maneuver my way around because I was shadow banned and still being shadow banned. And all these marketing campaigns that haven't worked out for me is because of that. It's because I pretty much have a red flag on me. It's like, those people that go to the airport and as soon as they get online, they're getting picked out because they have a file on them. They have a certain marker on them. That's me in the podcast world. And that's why I'm going to TV, brothers and sisters, because in TV, I don't have to worry about being shadow banned and being censored, right? I don't have to worry about a YouTube canceling and terminating 7 accounts in 5 months and all that stuff. So Network of Awareness TV is coming out in 2 weeks. I'm not going to give you a specific date because we had a recent change in the software. So it's postponing my release date, which was going to be June 15th. That is no longer going to be the date of the release of my TV show. My TV show is no longer going to have 4 subscriptions. It's going to literally have one for $9.99. And if you get the subscription for the year, you're going to get a 20% discount off the top. So saves you some money for the year. And I guarantee you, you will not be dissatisfied because I'm going to provide a boatload of information on a consistent basis. And I'm really going to be able to spread my wings and fly creatively through my Creative Concepts Media platform, which is my company. Also, I noticed we got a new listener that I've never seen before. Health is Wealth. Thank you for joining the chat room. Really do appreciate it. Last but not least, brothers and sisters, it's very important. The reason why I titled this episode to be called Mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay. I was fixing my audio interface and making sure I get that static out, which I did. I had a loose connection here. Sorry about that. Definitely going to get me an upgrade in this audio interface. I think it's about that time. Oh, Roria, that's wifey. Okay, that's Mrs. Roria. Thank you. I like that. I like your profile name. Pretty cool. Okay, so last but not least, before I go, because I'm going to keep this show under 2 hours and we're hitting about an hour and 55 minutes, is make sure, like Robert was saying, I talk about this all the time, brothers and sisters. It's one thing to say that you're in this truth community and that you're righteous and all this. We know a lot of that when it comes to a lot of people is nonsense, because a lot of, let's just keep it 100. A lot of y'all out here are not living righteously. So if you're going to say that you're in this truth, be the truth. Be an example. Really, truly live your life like that. We're not perfect. We all make mistakes. I know I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. But one thing I can say that I do consistently is I'm putting forth righteous intentions. And some of you know that because I put forth righteous intentions towards what you're doing with your life. So make sure that you do that for others. Because at the end of the day, if we're not building each other up in a righteous manner, how do we remain righteous? How do we put forth the right intentions for the Most High to look upon and favor and understand that we're being all that we're meant to be, and we have all the right intentions on being that? And I stress that because I just feel like it's easy to say things, but it's a lot harder to live it out. But it gets easier with time if you make it a habit to be that, which is somebody that has a high level of compassion for life. Not just your own life, which that's the starting point, but for the life of others. And being able to utilize discernment a lot, because that's something we need to use on steroids these days. So I hope that this episode has given you great substance. I know it did for me. And like I always say, brothers and sisters, and I'm going to trademark this, is that when you live in the present, there is always an opportunity for a new beginning. And last but not least, do not look for the light at the end of the tunnel, brothers and sisters, because you're never going to find that light. Because the light is and always will be within you. So light up the tunnel and find your way through the darkness. Because at the end of the day, the Most High has given us the power to move mountains, has given us the power to create. And when I look in the mirror, I see a miracle. So I hope that when you look into the mirror, you see something meaningful. And all praise to the Most High and Barakatah, brothers and sisters. Peace, love, and light.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.